to see the world as it truly is, to understand that our situation today is different from the situation confronting any generation of human beings that has ever lived before. The very uniqueness of our situation is part of the reason we have been paralyzed into inaction. It is difficult to absorb the new reality that characterizes the relationship between the human race and planet Earth. In less than 100 years, the population has quadrupled. In my lifetime, born into a world that had just seen 2 billion people in population, I have witnessed the growth from a little over 2 billion to 6.65 billion. And my generation will see a population of at least 9 billion. The sheer numbers of us have altered the relationship between our species and the planet. But far more important, the tools we use, the technologies available to us are thousands of times more powerful than those that our grandparents could have imagined. And the combination of 6.5 billion people with tools that magnify the ability of each one of us to have a profound impact on the Earth's environment has completely and radically transformed the relationship between the human species and our planet. More important than our numbers and our technologies is our way of thinking. We assume, for some mysterious reason, that it's perfectly sane and rational to ignore the long-term consequences of our present actions. And yet, those consequences are now clearly threatening the future of all human civilization. As you know, this Earth is surrounded by a thin shell of atmosphere that is 1/1000th the thickness of the planet's diameter. Those of you who know English literature may know the sentence, "It was the worst of times, it was the best of times." The opening sentence in the novel A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. Let me share with you briefly a tale of two planets. Earth and Venus are almost exactly the same size. The difference in their diameters is less than 400 kilometers, which on a planetary scale is trivial. Earth and Venus have exactly the same amount of carbon. But one of the differences is that here on Earth, there is the miracle of life. And over hundreds of millions of years, various forms of life have taken much of the carbon out of the atmosphere of the Earth and transformed it through biological processes into residues that are sequestered deep in the crust of the planet as oil and gas and coal. And the amount remaining in the atmosphere is relatively small, especially compared to our twin divided at birth, Venus. Most of the carbon on Earth is now inside the soil, deep in the planet. But most of the carbon on Venus is still in the atmosphere. So what difference does that make? Well, the average annual temperature here on Earth is 15 degrees. The average annual temperature on Venus is 455 degrees. What we tolerate at present is unimaginable. Our fellow men, women, and children in many parts of this world are enduring unimaginable suffering right now in Darfur, in the protracted civil war in Congo, and civil wars elsewhere. Thousands of children dying every day as the result of easily preventable diseases. The absence of common medicines like penicillin. The failure to make the water they drink clean. And we're not stopping it. We can't. And the climate crisis offers us not only a challenge that we must solve successfully in order to secure our future, the climate crisis offers us an opportunity to see ourselves as we really are, as part of a single human race.